framework, as I was saying. So now you have decided the automation you will be doing. You understood what is the automation. So what are the different tools in the market for the automations and all. So suppose now you are going for the automation test, writing the framework. So in the framework there are multiple framework are there for the our automation that we can approach and we can combine to for the best reusability or for best modularization so that we can reuse and all. So first one is like linear automation test work. In the linear test automation referred as a record and play framework as well. Tester don't need to write the code to create a function, and the steps as it in a sequential order. So this is basically like if you have heard about the Selenium ID, in that case there is a Firefox plugin and you can do the record and play. So this is talking about that kind of a automation, a linear functionality. So but we don't use that linear one because if there is some web table operations we have to perform on some critical business logics we have to write. So definitely that will not happen with the help of a record and playback. You have to write down some proper logic with the help of a language, and only then you can achieve the required business logic in that case. But this is sometime on the framework that also we can use. Simply we can record and play, and we can give the test case name to that in some different files.
Okay, it's like codeless automation,
Yes, code.
codeless tool.
Yeah, codeless tool.
Okay,
Once just only we have to perform some action, and automatically it will record the required programming or the action for that.
okay, okay, got it.
So, and the next one is the modular based. So in the modular based, what we will do is implementing a modular framework will require testers to divide the application which is under the test into the separate units, separate functions and the sections. Like I have told, in the e-commerce website there is a product module, there is a checkout module, there is a payment module, there is a confirmation module. So what we will do, we will divide in different folders, and the logic that we will write for the locator, for the business function in the different multiple modules, so that we can achieve the reusability and we can easily use the functions across the test case.
This is what you are referring to, right, Rahul, when you said modularity framework?
Yes, yes, yes. Because you see, if
Okay.
everything we will combine in one folder or one file, so
One file,
it will
yes.
be very difficult for you that how to use it, and it will
Correct, correct.
become a very long file for you, and that is not easy and good practice. If any new tester tomorrow will come, he will not be able to identify at which line which code has been written, because it will be
Yes.
huge file for us. So instead of doing that, we should be dividing in a different file, different packages, and we should divide the logic, because if logic is divided we can reuse it also.
Correct.
So that's why we should use some modular based framework as well to divide the field functionality in sections.
Okay. And Rahul, like coming to the linear automation test framework, disadvantage of this is like code reusability will not be there, right?
Yes, it will not be there, and even though if you're doing record and play, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
actual requirement for us to write the test case, we will not be able to achieve the same with the help of a record and playback. Because suppose there
Oh,
is a web table and you want to get the value and do the operation of the fifth column and the third rows. So how you can do that? Because for that you need the dynamic XPath, and dynamic XPath record and playback will not generate for you. It will only generate the static XPath for you.
okay, got it.
So so that's how there will be the drawbacks for the record and playback. Exactly what you are looking for, it will not automate. You will not able to tell the plugin that you have to do this activity.
Got it, got it.
It will just only perform the simple actions for you, like entering the field or clicking on the button, that you can achieve. But the business complex logic that you want, so like you want to calculate the value of a product that you have to verify, it will not verify for you. It will not write down the logic for you,
Got it, Rahul.
right? Yeah. So the next one is the data driven testing framework. So data driven testing framework segregate the test script, logic and the test data. So test data we will not combine with the test case. we will test data, we will put in some external sheet like database, we can put text file, we can put some properties file, we can put, or some actual file we can put. So test data we will put in those particular type of a file, and the logic there will be separate in the separate files. And we can achieve, we can run the same test case, for the multiple test data. So that's why it's a data driven testing. In the keyword driven, what we will do is the test data and script logic are separated in a keyword driven. So keyword means to say we will make a keyword for that particular function, and that's how we achieve the keyword driven. So the keyword driven framework, I will give an example, is our Catalan Studio is there. So Catalan Studio works based on the keyword driven. So they divided and made the keywords, and we use those particular keywords to access the particular functionality. Okay.
Rahul, can you please repeat data-driven testing once?
Data driven testing is like segregation of a logic and the test data. See, if you are entering the value, suppose Rahul, in the field of a one of the name field. So what you will
Okay,
do, you will write in the code itself, like uh, once you will locate the element, then you will use dot send keys and value there itself. So we will not use
okay.
value in the,
Direct value, static value,
yeah, but
hard
yeah,
code value.
hard code value. So, but
Okay,
in the data driven, we will not use the hard code value.
okay, okay,
So
got
in
it.
data driven, we use some variable, and the variable will get the value from the Excel sheet or database.
Okay, got
So
it.
hard code value will not be there. So we are segregating the test data and the logic.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. And a hybrid test automation framework is the combination of more than one framework. If you're combining that, so in that case, we call it as a hybrid test automation framework.